Welcome to the Greek realm.
Hello everyone, today's topic is primordial deities, titans, and gods.
It's going to get confusing.
We're going to be discussing the difference between these three types of beings.
Some of you might think that they're all the same, they just were given different names because of different time periods. Not too entirely correct.
They are completely different creatures, which is why that they each represent different times in the Greek history. To start out with today, we're going to be discussing primordial deities in and of themselves, then moving on to titans, then gods, and then summarizing our points.
Primordial deities being the sky, the night sky, the sea, and even the earth itself.
One of the most common primordial deities that is known about and still discussed is Gaia. One of the other most interactive primordial deities is Nyx.
Gaia being the earth. You can kind of see why she's still quite popular. So we're going to first discuss on their basic personality differences. Even though they're all the same, the primordial deities still have differing personalities, but they're quite minimalistic.
A lot of the time, you'll find primordial deities being much more withdrawn and not really taking part in the things that happen around them.
In the example of Tartarus, he's sleeping all the time. Like, all the time.
He allows people to be placed inside of him, he allows things to go on around him in the underworld, and he doesn't really do anything about it.
And then if you look at the sky, he used to be rather active, now he's chopped up into little tiny bits.
Well, you kind of withdraw from society when you've been castrated.
Oh, okay.
Which feels like you're being chopped up in tiny pieces when you're Greek.
Point taken. His whole personality was located in there.
Now, what we mean by embodiments of nature with the primordial deities is that they don't just represent the thing they are. They literally are, in Gaia's case, the earth. She literally represents every rock you stand on.
So don't kick them anymore. She's gonna get revenge at some point.
At some point.
She's quite lazy.
You would be too.
Yeah. She's as round as a planet. Honey.
Because they are a specific aspect of nature, their powers don't really work in a way that's easy for human minds to comprehend.
It's kind of hard to comprehend how Nyx gets into the sky, travels over it, and then how that just whole works. Does she spread out like a squirrel and go across the sky like that? Or is it more of like riding a chariot?
I like the blanket analogy where her wings are kind of like blankets that go over the sky.
Did we forget to mention Nyx has wings?
Nyx is winged, which is interesting because she's one of the few primordial deities that seems to have a very distinct physical description. Most of them are rather vague with their physical descriptions, if they even have them. The most we know about Uranus is that he at one point had a dick.
That's about it. Congratulations, folks. You figured out what the sky is. It's a dick. I couldn't resist. But in the case of Tartarus, we know he's a hole. That's about it.
He's a pit.
Yes. Is the pit black? It doesn't actually say.
It doesn't actually say if it's black. I like to refer to it as sort of a more gray. Because I think that gray better represents nothingness.
Interesting thought. I like to think about it as a pit that you just kind of keep falling in, and it's like one of those dreams where you suddenly jump down the stairs and you're falling forever. Does everyone have those, or is it just me?
I think everyone has those.
Oh, cool. I'm not alone. So, we go on to then their children, the Titans. This is where things get a little bit complicated. Now you know the primordial deities are the thing. The Titans, on the other hand...
They fall somewhere between God and primordial deity. They aren't the thing. However, in some cases they almost are.
It's like they're controlled by the thing. Like, they're not truly at the wheel. Their powers are. So in the cases of the Titans of the sea more controls them. Kind of think about it as the sea being more of a wolf, then you get a rabid dog, and then as the god, you get a normal dog that's kind of got this thing going and is a meme. A constant meme.
If the Titans wanted to use their powers in a very useful sense, they would have to basically use it like a hammer.
Just destroy all the shit. That will fix everything.
Exactly. They were sort of the first draft of gods. A lot of sources will still refer to them as gods because in a sense they were just a more primitive version of them.
Mm-hmm. They weren't all there yet. It's kind of like when you first make a cake and you think it's going to come out lovely and it looks kind of good, and then you cut it into it and realize it's still batter on the inside and you're sad and depressed and it's all sorts of wrong. So then we get to the really good cake. The cake that a lot of people love to sample. The gods.
Oh, I thought we were talking about their dicks, but okay.
Well, we might as well be. They take very much after their great-grandfather or their great-great-grandfather, or who knows how many greats we're going to go down. They love their dicks. They are their dicks. Their personalities are dicks.
They are all dicks. Now, the gods are interesting. They are the most human of any creature in Greek mythology. They're more human than the primordial deities. They're more human than the Titans. And they're even more human than the nymphs a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. They take the form of humans. They walk around looking very humanoid. And it's always kind of a debate on what their true forms look like.
We can't really tell, considering if a human saw them in their true form, they would disintegrate.
There was one guy, he went mad.
No, he saw a goddess naked. There's a difference.
No, I swear there was one guy that had went mad because he was gifted the ability to see the gods' true forms, and he went absolutely batshit crazy. We'll have to come back to that point. I remember it, I swear. I'm good at this sometimes. So, in the case of the gods, they actually have control over the thing. They're at the wheel, they're turning the car, and they're running into mortals because it's fun.
Even control is a bit of a misuse of the word. It's more they are the protector of their domains.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot use their domains in a sense that a superhero would use flame-throwing abilities. Instead, they are more the protector of the flame. They are the person who can put it into a usable form.
Think Artemis and Hunt. She'll protect her virgins. She'll always protect her virgins.
Don't touch the virgins.
Why do we say that? No one's ever going to listen.
We're hopeful. We're so hopeful.
So,
while the Titans are very set in their ways, not all that intelligent, the gods, it was much easier for them to adapt and learn new things.
They could go with the flow.
Yes. And they could very easily gain intelligence as time went on.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't necessarily like change, but they could move with it.
So, I like to go back to the dog analogy. Primordial deities being the wolves, very run by instinct. The rabid dogs being just rabid, and being the Titans. And then we get dogs. So, in summary, primordial deities are the thing.
Titans are more of big, bashing, do whatever we want.
And gods care for the thing. Very human, very lovely, and are going to be constant memes if I have any control over it.
Sounds like a great journey to start on.
Mm-hmm. So now you know the basics. Oh wait, no you don't. We lied.
Now you know the basic difference between gods, primordial deities, and titans. Hopefully this will make everything a lot easier and a lot more understandable as we move on with Greek mythology. Stay tuned.